Hey kids, for business. Took a little longer than I expected. But you know, that's dogs for you. So anyhow, quiet day here, November 2nd, 2018. All is well here on the good ship Lily 2. Boat's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. But anyhow, just got back, let Miss Lily do her business, so took a little while. Quiet day today, a day of rest. Hey Martin, how you doing, buddy? Yep, you are number one, man. You're always number one in my book, Martin. Anyhow, a day of rest. Well, not really, I guess. So, hey Alan, hey Spoken, how you doing? A day of let's see, showers and laundry and research. That's what I did today. Showers, laundry, and research with hey Jared, hey Tom Travis, what's up? Hey Johnny Hag. With really bad Wi-Fi. Hey Marie, how you doing? The Wi-Fi here sucks, and old AT&T is still playing games with my internet access, slowing it down, so it makes it impractical, absolutely useless, actually. So, hey Seafair and Sarah, how you doing? So anyhow, very frustrating day trying to do research, and AC Biscuit constantly running up against issues with delays and waiting and buffering and disconnecting. The Wi-Fi here keeps cutting out. I mean, it would like be on for 2 minutes and then cut out, and be on for 2 minutes and cut out, and be on for 2 minutes and cut out. It's very, very frustrating. So, had a one of them days, you know. Hey Dick, how you doing? So, anyhow, dog's fine. She's currently down eating right now. She's on the floor eating, as she will do from time to time. There she is. She just come up here to join us. Hello, dog. Lily, say hello. You gonna say hello? No, get down. Don't you throw up on here. You ate too fast, didn't you? Oh no, she's giving me her tennis ball. I thought she was gonna throw up here next to me. She sometimes does that. She eats too fast and comes up and throws up. Peaceful today is November. Yep, that's right, November 2nd. So, hello, Jeff. Hey, Andy, what's up? Hey, Evil. Bad Wi-Fi. Yeah, it just keeps shutting off. I mean, you know, it'll be on for 2 or 3 minutes, and then it'll just shut off. And then it'll be on for 2 or 3 minutes, and then it'll just shut off. So it's very frustrating trying to work and do research, and every 2 seconds you've got to reset the Wi-Fi up on the computer again. So, oh well, that's life aboard a sailboat, I guess. So, inarticulate meant it was early this November Eve. Okay. Yeah, she wants to play. We just came back from going on a walk. She got yelled at this evening. She tried to jump up on a lady who was all dressed up going out to dinner. And she tried to jump up on her with muddy paws to be petted. And so she got yelled at today. She got made to stop, sit down, and sit there for a minute and take a breather from all of her squiggly butt antics and nonsense that she normally has. So can't be jumping up on people unless they invite you. So she got yelled at today. All I can do is stare at the clock. Yeah, today's been a long day of frustration. I guess so. Oh, and then had to deal with some troll idiot nonsense as usual. You know, threats and game playing going on. Is just ban assault Wi-Fi. There you go. From Kenai, Alaska, he's in the fishing industry. Oh, well, no surprise there. Someone from Kenai, Alaska is in the fishing industry. So pretty much 90% of the people in the Kenai on the Kenai Peninsula are in the fishing industry. That's about all there is to do there is fish. So, but yeah, that's cool though. Isn't that the responsibility of the dog owner though? Well, yes, I'm trying to restrain her. When some lady comes running up to her, you know, and wants to pet her, Miss Lily thinks it's okay to jump up on her. So, they said to call my wife up for ebb with a tub or something. Ebb. Okay. D-King sticks, okay. Researching all kinds of stuff set. Good, hey, random, good, glad you could be here, so. Actually, let me just start out this live stream with addressing a ongoing problem. Able to do that anymore. Hey, Carrie Beth, in jail in the lower 48, but seems to have found peace in Alaska. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that up in Alaska. There's a lot of people that think they can go escape to Alaska like they're going to get away from society. So, like, they don't realize that there's still a society up in Alaska too, so. Pretty close to Florida, but other than that, I'm not giving you any more information. Drink honey. Drink water. So, interesting. Got to be prepared to get out of here fairly early tomorrow. I forgot to get fuel today. Should have bought my fuel today, so now I have to wait here for them to open up in the morning so I can get fuel before I take off. Which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Oh, man. So, anywho, had a problem with, well, I thank everyone in advance for being polite. Thanks, Broken. Good way to start that. I agree with that. Lots of dropouts tonight. Not a good signal. Huh. Sorry, Mike. Actually, I think I have a pretty good signal at my end so far this evening. I was kind of surprised at that. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. But I'm not on the Wi-Fi with my cell phone right now. Anyhow, I had a fella who used to be, hear me banging against the dock here. Pretty good rant about trolls, informative. Yeah, Seabiscuit, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. I liked his attitude, If you don't like it, don't watch, don't comment, leave us alone, get the hell out of here. Nobody wants to hear from your sorry ass anyway. So, I'm buffering quite a bit. Well, not at my end, so. Anyhow, I had a viewer who had become a troll and now apparently is a troll idiot. Call me out. I mean, literally called me out. Tried to set up some sort of a meet up with me. And apparently that was a ruse. I made it sound like, hey, let's think. Whereas turns out he was informing other people that he was gonna call me out like what are we, 12 years old, hiding behind the gymnasium after school kind of stupidity. Unbelievable. But it just goes to show you how crazy and underhanded and ridiculous some of these trolls are. There's a reason why some people get blocked from my channel. And it's because, we're able to early on identify them as that kind of a person. What kind of a person wants to call me out and kick my butt because I blocked them from my YouTube channel? I mean, come on. I mean, how ridiculous and childish is that? So, well, yeah, Martin, I appreciate anyhow, sorry about that. So now now I actually buffered. So we're back on, hopefully, and we can continue here. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. But I don't have the patience problems tonight, so if this continues, it's going to be a very short live stream. Frankly, again, just, AT&T messing with my cell service, and this marina had me pretty frustrated all day today, so. Well, Penny Lane, I have no idea who you are, so go away. Was this Joker your would-be date? No. So anyhow, that was not my ex-wife, Penny. Her last name is not Lane. So, some troll idiot out there thinking that they're having fun or causing some kind of crap. So, no, that's not the ex-wife. That's just some other troll idiot. So, Anywho, guys, here's the deal. I'm really fed up with the trolls and all the nonsense. But you know, in the overall scheme of things, I've had tremendous success out here doing what I'm doing, and you know, it's been awesome. Hey, Steve, how you doing, man? Is it safe tonight? Hell, I don't know, Steve. All the troll idiots are out in their usual stupid selves this evening. But you know, I can't really complain. Regardless of all the nonsense, regardless of all their trials and tribulations and childish behavior, you know, a dozen other people, and I mean, I don't think there's a single one of my real friends and followers that hasn't been called or harassed or, you know, called an idiot or whatever for continuing to support me. And that tells you a lot about the character of these kinds of individuals, you know. I'm not going to call you a troll or an idiot for you know, watching somebody else's channel. But if you're on there and you're, you know, you're commenting and you're behaving and you're buying into all their nonsense, well, then maybe you are, you know. You guys know who you are, if you're a troll or not. So, you know, we'll just go with that. So, well, fair winds, go watch other channels. Maybe Trollinians is better than Troll Idiots. No, I like Troll Idiots better. Think of them as little troll pets scurrying about, sticking their noses here and there, looking for a little validation. Yeah, Don, that's a pretty active assumption of it there, though. But, you know, regardless of all their efforts and all their nonsense and all the stuff that was going on, you know, they accomplished nothing. They accomplished absolutely nothing. I am very close to being in Florida. I've achieved my goals, or at least I will in the next, you know, 24 to 48 hours. You know, I bought the boat in Ohio with the plans of having the boat take me down here to Florida so I can stay on the boat while I'm working. All of that's happening. You know, so all their wasted time and efforts and ventilations and aspirations, all the wasted time and wasted breath on these troll idiots has amounted to absolutely nothing. Nothing. I'm on the boat. I'm here in Florida. I'm doing great. I'm healthy. I feel better. I'm in a great mood. I'm excited to get back to work. I have a date coming up here in a couple days with a pretty lady. Everything's great. Everything's absolutely fine. So, yeah, I'm pretty jazzed about it. So, I'm really pretty jazzed about it. So, yeah, I agree with you, Wood Beast. They're not worth my time. They haven't been worth my time since day one. So, Plastic Oceans, is that Rhonda? Jessica, I don't know. Quit talking about them. Deflect. Talk about your day. Oh, my day was pretty simple today. So, yeah. I would say this was all a waste of your time, Carl. You're doing great. Well, thanks, Sarah, and that's exactly right. So I'm doing fine, guys. I'm doing fine. The dog's doing fine. We're awesome. What are you doing now? Why are you trying to get underneath the cushion? She's putting her nose up underneath the cushion I'm sitting on, like she's trying to burrow underneath me. What are you doing? Was your tennis ball underneath there? Is that what you did? Did you bury your tennis ball underneath me? She's such a goof nut. So, anyhow, yep, date night does sound like fun. I do not have any wine on the boat, but it's probably not a bad idea. Pilot, I'm no longer sharing my location or where I'm at. I won't be doing that at all anymore. Hey, Cruiser, how you doing, man? With the time, but here we are talking about them. We have disrupted. Yeah, they've disrupted the adventure, but to no success. Trolls are losers. They're a bunch of losers. I've accomplished nothing, so. But they have, you know, given us all kinds of topics to talk about, and trolls serve that function. I need an adversary to keep sharp, huh? You know, Don, I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. You may be onto something there, so, huh. Yeah, it's not so easy to ignore them, though. I mean, I've tried that. I really have. Go up and read Plastic Ocean's comment. Plastic Ocean's comment. I didn't see a comment. I see Plastic Ocean saying yes. Is that the comment you're referring to? I didn't see anything else. Okay, I would like to ask for thoughts and prayers from my friend. She's been in the hospital 3 weeks, had surgery, and would be moved to a rehab center. Rhonda needs our support and prayers. Oh. Well, is that Rhonda? So you're saying that is Rhonda? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. 3 weeks, had surgery, and should be moved to rehab center. Rhonda needs our support and prayers. Huh. Yep, if that's Rhonda, then that's very unfortunate. I don't wish anything bad on Rhonda at all. She has made some bad choices, but, you know, Rhonda was there for me when I needed someone to talk to when I was up in Alaska, and there is some really good in her. There really is. So don't disparage her because she went to the dark side on my channel. So. Snow never gets very deep at sea. That's true, Steve. Yep, no snow out here at all. Every protagonist needs a... Yeah, antagonist. Yeah, maybe so. Have there been personal threats? Yes, Sarah, there have been personal threats, actually. I would say somebody inviting me out so that they could kick my butt would be a personal threat. Yeah. Somebody wanting me to set up a meet someplace so that they could have a fight with me like they're some 12-year-old. Yeah, I would say that's a personal threat, and so did law enforcement. So, okay. Trolls Wednesday and Sunday is patron only. The assholes mixed it up for us. Huh. Okay, Smoking, was there a reason why you deleted Frank's comment? I didn't see what it was, but... Is that not the real Frank? Okay. Thoughts and prayers for Rhonda. There you go. I agree with that. Fake Frank. Okay. Thanks. It wasn't Frank. Yep. Thank you. Okay. Understood. I didn't check. I just seen that Frank was deleted, so... there hasn't been any threats, Carl, on just make your videos. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you know so much about my life. Yep, it was pretty creepy. So, Grandpa was mean to Rhonda. Hardly. I was not mean to Rhonda at all. Yeah, they said they were going to assault me. One of the troll idiots, so... Jibs and mains and tacking, huh? Okay, well, we're not doing any of that right now. How much oil did you burn today? I didn't burn any oil today. Not a drop. Didn't burn any diesel fuel either. Back to where there was some threats. Saw the stream. Yep. There's some troll idiots out there who think it's okay. They think I'm a bad guy because I live stream and I'm an e-beggar, but it's okay to call me out to some place and beat the crap out of me. I mean, what kind of logic is that? You know? Just goes to show you how sick these people are. Yeah, plus a guy with a bullhorn calling you to wave. Yeah, that's true. There's another stalker person, so... with my wife for dinner, you've come a long way since Huntington. Hey, honeybees, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's been a long time since Huntington, huh? Since we met there at by the Coast Guard station, right? That was a nice little anchorage there. Freezing. Oh, full main. Sorry to hear that, man. Pretty cold up there. It's not bad down here. Yes, the guy on shore was 10-star. Yep. On the lawyer, most of lots of money for the attorney. Yeah, we are already pursuing that. So we have a number of individuals already lined up. So, and as soon as we get going here and I start working and have the funds to pursue them, I'm going to. So. Keep breaking it up as your side or the shitty weather where I live. Well, hey man, the weather here has been pretty bad today. Cold, wet, and rainy actually. You can probably hear the boat bouncing against the dock here, rubbing against the fenders. Where I'm at, I'm pretty exposed to the wind and the waves, and so the wind's coming from right where the big opening is. So it's banging me against the dock as it has for the last 24 hours. So. That's right, I'll get out of here tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm going to cross the Florida line tomorrow or not. I very well may cross into Florida tomorrow. I may not, I don't know yet. Again, you know what, people? I'm not telling anybody, so I might start doing these a bit earlier, possibly from the deck. I enjoy the views. Yeah, fundraiser for lawyer fees. No. I have to pursue them, waste of time, let them fall away in your wake as you move forward. Well, Don, there's a lot to be said for that, and you would certainly know more than most. And that very well may be the case, but I get the feeling like it's not going to fall away. I have a feeling they're going to continue right on. So I am making sure I document everything. Yep. Lawyers work for free when they see a big payday. Yeah, not good ones. Good day tomorrow and head to Fernando Beach. Yeah, Pirate, that may be the case. So that will get expensive. No, you don't. Anyhow, guys, enough of that nonsense. We wasted enough time dealing with these losers. There's no reason for us to bother with them anymore. So. We will just, we're just moving forward like we always have. We're just making further progress. So, did a lot of research, looking up some properties, looking at some alternative locations that I may decide to work in. I will share that with you. I had mentioned the other day that I was going to, that I actually had, and I did. I started a misinformation campaign and started bringing about some misinformation. I had to laugh. Some troll idiot commented to me, "Oh, that's really going to affect your credibility." Yeah, I don't worry about my credibility in the least. If I'm giving misinformation to protect myself, that's completely legitimate as far as I'm concerned. And frankly, the kind of person that says, "Oh, that's going to affect your credibility," that's a troll idiot. That kind of mentality, that's a troll idiot mentality. Yeah. First and always is the safety of me and my boat and my crew. My crew, myself and my boat in that order. And my crew, of course, is Miss Lily. And so her safety and my safety and then the boat safety are the things that we're most concerned about. And if you know, my credibility is, hey, I know the truth and I know what's right. I don't have any credibility issues. I never have. But, you know, these trolls, they lie, and others listen to those lies and build on top of those lies. And next thing you know, you've got a whole bunch of idiots out there. So, Kingsway, sub base in Brunswick. Maybe one hanging around, security very tight there. Okay. Prison shirt. Maybe a lawyer TV show like Judge Judy. That could be fun, yeah. Yeah, I guess I am wearing prison orange, aren't I? Yeah, I didn't think of that. So, I don't know. Cheap t-shirt at Walmart, so. Yeah, we're not going to get them, Coyote. They're just a waste of time. Just like Don said, they're just a waste of time, so. Anyhow, the good news is that I'm happy as a clam. I feel really satisfied. I feel victorious. I really feel good. I feel like I've made a lot of success in taking this old boat and moving it from, you know, back up there in Sandusky. Here I am. I'm you know 40 miles from the state line into Florida. Literally a day, one day I could be in Florida in a day. If I wanted to, I could get up early tomorrow, make a long day of it, and I could be in Florida tomorrow. I may or may not do that. So anyhow, I'm very happy with where I'm at. And the reason why I brought up the troll idiots tonight was one, to share with you guys that there is some real valid reasons out there why some of these trolls are in fact very dangerous people. There's something missing in their mental upbringing or their ethics or you know whatever, that they would you know go so far as to want to meet up so they could kick the crap out of me someplace. I mean that's just nonsense. So I'm an obsession about 20 years ago people evolve. The same person has you 20 years ago. Yeah, that's true. Hey Carl, what is the forecast for tomorrow? Nice weather tomorrow. Nice weather tomorrow. Low, not a lot of wind, sunny, but 2 days of rain coming in right behind that. But those 2 days of rain do not have much of a wind element to them, so I'm not too worried about them. So, whereas today we had pretty good wind here a little bit, and we have some more wind coming in this evening. So, Florida, yeah, crossing the Florida state line. That's like the end zone, guys. That's the goalpost. That's the crossing into the state of Florida means I've made it, man. So, yes, I do have a background in martial arts. Biker Coyote, please delete his fake. Okay. Warm front will back the wind on Sunday. Delete my imposter. Okay. I'm obsessed. Yeah, Donnie is. I mean, he's really weird. So, yeah, I'm going to go through Jacksonville. So, oh, crap. Mods need to delete. Yeah, they're on it. I'm sure they're on it, Murray. Not a problem. So, yeah, so, I mean, here I am. I'm like right on the edge of the goal. So, I'm making it to Florida. I'm a licensed real estate broker in Florida. I can work anywhere in the state of Florida. I don't have to be in Marathon, although I originally was thinking Marathon is where I would like to be. But actually, I've been doing some research on some other communities, and I'm finding there are other places that I can work that would be equally as profitable and enjoyable, that have the same parameters of a location that you know would be in par with the Florida Keys. And in fact, there's some places I researched that actually could be better than the Florida Keys for a couple reasons. So, oh, Dick, you don't have to apologize for anything, Dick. But if you said something, Germany, yeah, I'm not going to go work in Germany. So. Good guy, right? Forget them. Let's talk about fishing and saving the ocean from that plastic. Yeah, that would be the plan. So, impersonation is the highest form of flattery. Yep. Palm Beach could be good. Could be. Yeah. Oh, Dick, you never have a bad question. St. Augustine's good area. Yeah, I agree. Fake biker gone. What's the difference between broker and an agent? Okay, an agent works for a broker. A broker is a higher level of licensing structure. As a real estate agent, you have to work for a broker. As a broker, you hire real estate agents. Real estate agents work for a broker as an independent contractor. They are not employees. So they don't get a 1099. I mean, they get a 1099 form, rather, they don't get a W-2. So, a little different economic structure. So, Naples has a lot of rich people. Yeah, well, not quite what I'm looking for, but okay. Yeah, I don't know where Frank is. I've been talking with Frank. He was in the hospital the other day. He's going through some medical stuff. Not sure exactly what's going on. The doctors weren't able to figure out what's causing him pain. He's had some problems, and so we're waiting to hear what happens with all of that. So It's starting to rain again. I am not going to lease an office, and I sure as shit am not going to have other agents work for me. I've been there, done that, had the big real estate office before. I have no interest in wasting my time with a bunch of agents who don't do anything. So, I will, wow. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's coming down pretty good out there. So, yeah, we don't know exactly what's going on with Frank. We haven't figured that out yet. Yes, the new dinghy works just fine. Been running around on it. Not here, not today, but I've been running around on it. I haven't been here for a while. Where is Doug, Miss Shar, and Jean? Yeah, I don't know where Miss Shar is. I don't know where Jean is. And right now, I don't care where Doug is. How will you sell real estate as a broker? What do you mean, how will I sell real estate as a broker? I'll sell real estate just the same way I always sell real estate. Whether you're a broker or an agent, you can still do the same job. So, thanks, Wood Beast. In essence, be your own agent, so to speak. Yes, I will be a one-man shop. All right, let me just clear the air a little bit so you guys can understand that. I used to have a real estate office back in the early 80s when I first became a real estate broker in New York. I had a big office, had 30-some agents working out of that office. Very active office, except it was very active because me and two of the agents that worked there did 90% of the business. And that is the nature of real estate. There might be a community that has 500 real estate agents in that community, but when that happens, there'll actually be 5 who will be doing 90% of the business. It's just the way the industry is. You have those people that are professional, full-time realtors that do it for a living, and then you have, and I'm sorry if this is going to come off crass or biased, but you know, then the other people you have is the bored housewives or the wannabes who aren't willing to put out the time, effort, and energy. Real estate, like any other occupation, takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of man hours. It takes a lot of getting your nose to the grinding wheel and just humping out jobs from time to time. And there's just a lot of people that, you know, play realtor. They think they're a realtor. They act like a realtor. They you know, but they're just, you know, they do 1 or 2 or 3 transactions a year. They're not doing 30, 50, 80. Different communities have high transaction numbers. Some areas have very small transaction numbers. To me, those numbers aren't as important to me as is the general makeup of a community. So that's the area that I focus on. I focus on a particular makeup of a particular community that is well suited for me and the way I operate, and it has proved to be highly profitable for me in the past, and I'm sure it will become even more so in the future. So anyhow, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. All about technology when it comes to real estate sales, cutting edge from what I've seen. Actually, yes and no. I mean, I like doing cutting edge stuff. I like doing videos. Videos are a really great tool for helping to sell homes. If you go back and you look at some of the videos we've done in the past, either by my previous real estate office that I had in Marathon, Florida on YouTube, you can find videos under the name Island Time Real Estate, which was my office when I was in Marathon the last time. I had AAHHMT Real Estate up in Montana. Did a lot of videos there. I had GEE-HAW Real Estate in Alaska. And there's real estate videos that we did for all of those properties, and it was highly successful for me to selling that. But I married that aspect of the high technology, social media marketing kind of stuff to old school fundamentals, interpersonal relationship building, that kind of stuff, and that's where you can be successful or not be successful. So, but like anything else, it takes a lot of hard work. That's why I kind of laughed at some people like, oh, you don't need a You don't need to get a computer now. Well, yeah, I do, because there's a whole lot of work I need to be doing before I get there. You know, you don't just start a career like this by showing up on day one and, hey, where's my paycheck? It don't work that way. You bust your butt for 4 or 5 months without any income, and then you start receiving some income. It takes a lot of work. So, well, Marie, I'm glad they got the wrong, well, I guess they got the right Marie, but the wrong Marie. And by the way, Marie, I appreciate your heads up today. I was very appreciative of the information you provided to me. So, agent broker's office when buying or selling a house, they either came to the house or we met someplace. Yeah, Patrick, that's usually it's best to meet at the property. I mean, you know, if I'm buying or selling a house, why do I need an office? I don't need a fancy office with, you know, a secretary eating up all my, hey, John Dolan, how you doing, buddy? Eating up all my profits. I meet people at their property, or I meet a buyer at a property and we go look at it. Most of the buy-sell agreements that I write up and we email them back and forth. It's, you know, the old adage, the old, what would be a good reference? You know, the fathers knows best 1950s, well, something's banging out there, mentality of you know, the buyers come into the realtor's office and we all sit down at a big conference table and we fill out paperwork and stuff. It doesn't work like that anymore, kids. It doesn't work like that anymore. You know, everything's done through email back and forth. We e-sign now. Nobody actually signs anything anymore. They just click their name on a form that comes on the computer and it's done. I've sold multi-million-dollar homes completely online, completely off any paper. I mean, no paper to it at all. Everything's digital now, including their signatures are digital. So, you know, except for when they actually have to go to the title company's office to do the final signing of stuff. Other than that, it's all digital nowadays. So it makes it really easy. Hey, Miss Shar, how you doing? Glad to see you were here. Are you fixing dinner? What's for dinner, Miss Shar? Nobody is going to list their $2 million property with this clown. Well, Bob, you apparently are an idiot and don't know what you're talking about, because I have sold many multi-billion-dollar properties over the years. And in fact, I get tremendous feedback from people that have worked with me in the past. The references that I have from my previous customers is off the chart. So Bob Roses, you're an idiot because you have no idea what you're talking about. But once again, you know, that's a troll idiot for you. So, high taxes on properties in Florida. A friend of mine owns a house in Florida. The yearly tax is around $14,000. Hey, it's around $1,200 a year, including waste handling. Yeah, Dick, and what's amazing, Dick, you think Florida is expensive. Where I was up in Port Washington, up there in New York, I used to live in a community called Sands Point. We had a property back then. It was a couple of acres, and it's not unusual for those houses in that community to be paying $30,000, $35,000, $40,000 a year in property taxes annually. I mean, it's just crazy. And you know what? They don't get any more services than most of the communities that pay just a fraction of that. So it's just crazy how some areas, some communities garner such ridiculous taxes. But you know, it is what it is, and people don't seem to have figured out a way of arguing with their communities about getting those kinds of expenses in line. They really need to start doing that. So oh, Miss Shaw, are you kidding me? Roast beef and fixings? Oh, I'm going to your house for dinner, ma'am. That would be great. So anyhow, guys, listen, I missed a bunch in the chat. I'm just not going to go back. I'm on a roll here talking about stuff I enjoy. I'm just not going to go back. If you commented something that's really important, comment it again. I'll try to catch it as it comes through. But yeah, one job only for the taxes. I have to get no income tax. Yep, there is no income tax. That's true. If you're paying $350 for a flat fee, you have a closing agent who may have one attorney or staff, and all they do is the processing of the paperwork. That's not an attorney. Yep, that's true. Yeah, thanks, Pilot. Appreciate that. What will you do for income for the months until you sell? I'm going to continue my YouTube channel, Connie. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue my YouTube channel and continue doing stuff just as I have been while I'm in the process. Amongst other things, which are frankly none of your business. So, another thing is realtors make sales and lawyers ruin them. Oh, John Dolan, man, did you hit a nail on the head there? So, yeah, I don't know who Big Belly. Yeah, if you guys see that Big Belly sailor, yeah, just go ahead and block him. You don't just delete his messages. Go ahead and block him. So, yeah. Oh, Connie, because it's not just asking; it's sort of the attitude. You know, I've seen it and heard it. So I'm fed up with it. Ow. Well, she was burying the tennis ball under my butt. Yep, I agree with you, Don. I think so. So, Dale wants to know if you flew the drone yet. I guess you were telling him about it. Actually, I've not had the drone out in a while now. So, no, I haven't flown the drone in a bit. So, yeah, John and Don, you know, and there's no argument there, guys. In some communities, and it's different from state to state. Yeah, Don, I understand that. It's different from state to state. Like in Florida and in New York, all real estate transactions are pretty much handled by lawyers. The realtors, you know, market the property, we negotiate the deal, we find the buyers and sellers, and we turn it over to lawyers to take care of the closing, or the title company. Frankly, I prefer title companies other than lawyers. Lawyers get paid to, you know, to do their job, and so they end up getting in arguments about stuff. But I have seen times, and I'm no offense, Don, but I have seen times where I've had lawyers get into a fight. Yeah, Don, everything's going to title companies now. Everything's just going to title companies. Lawyers are certainly preparing the deeds and doing the legal documents, working through like our Realtors Association and the Title Companies Associations. Title company has lawyers under, you know, that work for them as employees. They check all the details and stuff. So, Dale said laptop. Yes, I have the laptop. It's working fine. So, but anyhow, I've had lawyers. I remember one particular closing where we had a pretty simple transaction, but the one lawyer wanted some language change, and fairly innocuous language. It really had very little to do over the purchase or sale of it. It was just housekeeping issue that they got into an argument about, and the seller's attorney was like, you know, well, it's really not that big a deal. Let's just sign. Let's get this done. Let's get this over with. And the one lawyer got so riled up about it, he picked up the other attorney's briefcase and threw it out the window of the room where we were at. The only problem is we were like up on the 6th floor of a building. So he threw the briefcase, open briefcase, mind you, out the 6th floor of a building. And so all that lawyer's paperwork and documents and whatever was the contents of his briefcase were just scattered to the four winds at that point. So that really got to be ugly between those two lawyers, and there, you know, I don't know what the final result was, but we ended up getting two different lawyers involved, and we did close that transaction. But I have had some lawyers seem like they really go out of their way to screw up transactions. So I am glad, you know, for the last couple of decades that I worked in Montana and Alaska selling real estate, and a little bit in Washington too. Where it was all pretty much all title companies. And now down in Florida, it's really going over to the title companies as well. They don't have a vested interest. They work as a independent third party. It's a nice arm's length transaction is the word that we use for it. Their job is just to make sure that all the rules are adhered to, that all the documents are properly executed and recorded, and that the money is cleared and paid in a timely fashion, and they do a really good job with that. And of course, they're insured and bonded and what have you. So I really prefer closings that work through title companies as opposed to lawyers. No offense, Don, but I've just had some lawyers that, you know, the ego gets involved instead of just getting the job done. So it works out best that way. Biggest sales commission fees year. I sold Bjorn Borg's place in Sands Point for $6 million. Probably the largest transaction I was ever involved with. I've also sold, I sold a farm in Alaska for $1.5 million. I sold about $5 million worth of property in Montana to a particular family. I've been involved in a lot of large dollar transactions. Sold quite a few houses that were well over $1 million. So a lot. I mean, there's been a lot of those transactions that have gone over the years. So, I just wonder if my boarding ladder is rattling around out there. That's what's making that noise. After the live stream, I'll have to go check out on deck. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So, Carl, who is the best person to hire to do a house inspection for a potential buyer who may have concerns about a property purchase? Ms. Sharp. There are a number of people who do that professionally. There's actually a home builder inspections association. They have very specific forms, rules, and regulations that have to be followed. You just simply hire one of those people. Talk to your local realtor. They'll give you, in that community, she'll give you a recommendation for a building inspector. But the building inspectors are now licensed just like realtors are. But be prepared to spend some money. Some of those building inspectors are getting pretty spendy these days. So, as are things like surveys and as-built and, you know, any kind of documentation like that that could be used necessary for transactions. So, yeah, there's lots of people that can do that. But I would ask a local real estate broker in that community for a recommendation for a good building inspector. And there's a difference. I've worked in some communities. There were some building inspectors that were real idiots, couldn't find their butt with both hands. And then I found some others that were very highly professional, did a thorough job, and were reasonable with their recommendations and suggestions. So, I mean, I've had some inspectors that, you know, found something ridiculous, small item in a house and tried to blow it up like it was, you know, the worst thing ever. Whereas in fact it was a fairly easy fix. And then I've had others that had some pretty major problems, like mold is always a big issue. I sold one house for, I think it was like $1.8 million in Montana that had a mold problem. It had mold in the basement. Not in the basement, in the crawl space underneath part of the house. And, you know, it was making or breaking a huge transaction. The building inspector came through and tried to blow it up like it was a great big deal. Well, we hired a mold remediation company who went down into the crawl space. They went down there literally with bleach bottles and wipes and cleaned it all up. They found the cause of it was there was a piece of stray lumber that was leaning against the footer of the wood floor underneath the crawl space, but the other end of the board was in the dirt. And so that was acting as a conduit for moisture to come up underneath the floor and make contact. So what we ended up doing is, you know, the remediation company went back down underneath there, they cleaned all the mold, they took the board out, they put some ventilation in to give it better airflow, and they fixed it for like $2,000. So when you're dealing with a house for $1.7 million, spending $2,000 to make sure it's healthy, that's not a bad thing. So, okay. You guys make fun of us lawyers till the wife sues for divorce or you get arrested on the way home from the bar. Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, Don, I mean, isn't that true all the time? I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Hey, Don, I'll tell you what, on the other side of the coin, I've had some lawyers who've been really good about finding some problems, especially with chain of title, identifying some chain of title issues that title companies actually missed, which is odd for a title company to miss that. But, so yeah, there are some lawyers out there that do a pretty good job. I've certainly hired a number of them in the past, so. Oh, how much is your cut on a sale like that? It depends on the transaction. Generally speaking, on residential transactions, I work on a 6% commission. Now, that commission is split between the listing office and the selling office. So typically, I work as a listing agent, which means I get the property on the market and I market it, and I take care of the marketing of the property. I don't bring buyers to show the property. Some other office will bring their buyers and show the property. We split that. So that office will get 3% and I will get 3%. So to give you an example, like, on a $1 million property, there's a $60,000 commission. $30,000 will go to the listing agent, $30,000 will go to the selling agent, a brokerage. And then usually if you're a real estate agent working for a broker, then the broker and that agent then split whatever percentage you contract or agree to, usually 50-50, between the broker and the agent. So an agent working for a broker in a transaction like that where they sell $1 million home will probably make $15,000 on that transaction, whereas the broker, if he's both broker and agent, would make $30,000. Or if you are the broker and you represent the buyer as well, which I have done many times, then I would make the full $60,000. So just depends on the property. Land I tend to do at a higher rate, and inexpensive properties at a higher rate. Anything under $200,000 I do at a 10%. Vacant land is also done at a 10% rate. So instead of 6%. It's just what I charge for my time. And I've been very successful with that. So I fight for justice and peace. I know you do, Don. I know you do. Thank God for errors and emissions insurance. Yeah. Coyote, I only worry about E&O when I had agents working for me. I never worry about it for myself. But when I have agents working for me, I like to have E&O insurance covering them because they sometimes do stupid stuff. I did 10 years as a supervising attorney with legal aid. Okay, Don, so you know the kind of lawyers that we're talking about. I mean, it's like human beings. There's good and bad in everybody. No problem, Miss Shar. Well, those waves really bouncing me around tonight. Yeah, stuck in BC. Yeah, 30 grand. And I've made my single largest commission check to date was $125,000. And I ended up doing a second half of that transaction a week later for another $85,000. And that was in 1 month. So that's my single largest transaction, and that was selling a large ranch in Montana, and then they bought the next ranch after that one next to it as well. So, and I was representing both the buyers and the sellers, and those buyers came back to me for, let's see, we sold their original house, we bought their new house. We bought the one ranch, we bought the other ranch, and then we were selling the new house for a newer house. So I did 5 transactions with the same family. You're not, if people hire you back over and over and over again, I think that's a pretty good indication I'm doing a pretty good job. And then they go and they get online and they give me this glowing referral about what a great job I did for them. So. In fact, we're still friends to this very day. So they still call me from time to time. I was teasing him the other day. He was buying property now in Italy. And I was like, damn, I'm not licensed to sell real estate in Italy. I'd go to Italy and help you buy some property there, but I'm not licensed over there. So that's all fun. Anyhow, yep. I've been involved in lots of multi-million-dollar closings. There are many, many bad lawyers and judges and teachers and doctors. I've found an idiot-proof strata of society. Yeah, Don, there you go. I agree with that. Best lawyer is the lawyer who is owed favors. My crystal ball shows a big, shiny boat in your future. That might very well be. Fair question, lonesome, but let's just say it's cheaper to keep her. My cousin's a lawyer and high morals, cares more for the truth than money. There you go. And you really got to, guys. I mean, when I sell real estate, I'm more okay. Yeah, I get paid well for what I'm doing, but the only reason why I get paid well for what I'm doing, and the only reason why people keep coming back to me time after time after time, the same family, and that one family is not unique. I've had a number of times where I've had another family in Montana. I did at least 7 transactions between the husband and wife and the father and the mother and the brother. You know, the whole family was buying and selling property. So another family I was helping there out, really good friends of mine. We bought one property, then we bought the adjacent piece to that, then we bought another adjacent piece of that, then we bought a house in town as a rental. You know, we get involved with these families and we do a lot of transactions. That tells me I'm doing my job right. And it's focusing on getting the job done right. Getting the properties marketed, making sure the paperwork's all taken care of, answering questions before they even ask them, instructing them as to how things have to work. All of that kind of stuff is critical in being successful. And when you focus on doing the job, the money is, as a byproduct, you'll make a lot more money than when you focus on the money and not on doing the job. You know, to be successful as a realtor, you really got to focus on the details and getting the job done correctly, and then you'll make the money. So, well, bravo. We will be talking some real estate once I get there, but we will also be talking about sailing and scuba diving and fishing and a bunch of other stuff as well. So, I'm invested in a sale. As a realtor, you have a lot of time invested? So, yeah, John, you do. I mean, from day one, you know, but I mean, if, as an example, if somebody calls me up and wants me to list a particular property, the first thing I do is I do my research on the property. When was it bought and sold last? How many times has it sold in the last 10 years? Who owned it? You know, what improvements are on the property? I look at the comparables. What other properties in the neighborhood of selling for? I look at the old listings where it had been bought and sold previously on the MLS. I look at the histories. And I do all that before I even go look at the property. So I'll have 3 to 5 hours invested in that house before I even go look at it, to meet the people for the initial meeting. I really like showing up at that initial meeting knowing more about their property and its history than they do. You know, who the previous owners were and how long they owned it, what they bought it for, what they sold it for, what the property taxes are. Who their current mortgage with and how much is still owed on it. So Connie says, I used to have 18 rental homes, got out 11 years ago. People have changed for the worse. Connie, they certainly have. It depends on the rentals that you own. If you own low-end rentals, you're going to have more problems. Focus on the high-end rentals. They tend to be a lot less problematic. Real estate game has changed. Buyers and sellers much more educated there. Easy info to find on Zillow, Truly, etc. I don't know about that, Hank. It's been my experience that people buying and selling $1 million homes really don't seem to be that much more educated about real estate transactions than people selling $200,000 homes. They really don't. Sad to say. I know some people that buy and sell $200,000 homes that have had more transactions. I mean, just as buyers and sellers have had more transactions than I will ever see in a lifetime, just because they buy and sell a lot of homes. There was a lawyer that I worked with in Port Washington, New York, Ames Ressa. You know, Ames owned 2,000 houses. Well, 2,000 apartments. Let's put it that way, 2,000 apartments. Not 2,000 houses, but 2,000 apartments he owned. You know, that's a lot of buying and selling. So, you know, so you really can't say that, you know, just because it's a nicer neighborhood that they're more sophisticated buyers, or that as a general rule you would think to be true, but as history has proven that not to be the case. So, your Alaska listings are very good. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that, man. Connie, for a dog mushing career. Yeah. Well, I didn't go to Alaska for a dog mushing career. I went to Alaska because my daughter wanted to be a dog musher. You know, people contesting the value of their homes for tax purposes. So I got into a lot of the stuff you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these communities are just charging way too much money for the taxes, and they're really not providing services to justify it. So, Change buyers. And Hank, don't believe all the crap you see on Zillow and Trulia. Most of the data on there is inaccurate. So, yeah, you really got to take what's on Zillow and Trulia and really discount it. Nothing is more frustrating to me when I see Zillow or Trulia give an estimate as to what a house is worth. They're clueless. They're absolutely clueless. You can't just look at the square footage of the average home in a community, establish a dollar value on that, and just because this house is 1,800 square foot and sold for $100,000, and this house is 1,800 square foot, it's also worth $100,000. They're not. Every single piece of property is unique amongst itself. You got to take a look at not just square footage, but condition, neighborhood, amenities. There's a world of difference between two houses, even though they have the exact same square footage. So don't believe Zillow and Trulia when they tell you what a valuation is. They don't have an idea. And secondly, don't look at your taxes, at your assessed valuation on your property taxes, and assume that that is any reflection of the true market value of your property. It is not. The assessed valuation that your county assesses your house at and says this is what your house is worth has absolutely no basis in reality. It is simply a function of their accounting methods and accrual methods for tax purposes. It has no bearing on the actual market value. They may be assessing you a whole lot more than it's worth or a whole lot less than it's worth. So, okay, I'm going to go back in the chat a little bit, but not too far. You have to trust an agent, rich or poor. On a related note, our bankruptcy note does take Zillow evaluation in some cases. That would be scary, Don. That would really be scary to me that they would do that. Michigan is very good. Michigan now, strong market. Yeah, okay. I'm back. My comment is the second load of laundry is in washer, and tomorrow is our last sailboat race of the day in the fall. Ah, there you go, Marie. Congratulations. Hope you had a good sailing season. So, I've been cornered if you're not already in it. No, that's not true. Lots of good valuations. Lots of good properties out there available. You would have been difficult litigant in my real property hearings, I think. Oh, Don, I give lawyers absolute fits all the time. I kid you not. I kid you not, Don. Yes, you would definitely want me on your side, without a doubt. But I'll tell you what, Don, even then, I'm going to tell it exactly like it is. I don't like to twist anything. You know, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, period. So, anyone see movie Pacific Heights, scary movie about a rental home? Okay. I can only raise your assessed value so fast. Well, yeah, not so much. You'd be a surprise. And that's why you should use a professional. Yep. I would have liked to joist with you. To joist with me? Joust, I think you mean joust, huh? That would have been fun. You come alive when you're talking about real estate. Well, you know what? Because I'm not dealing with the trolls trying to challenge me at every corner when I'm talking about sailing. So they don't know anything about real estate, so they have no basis for jumping in here and complaining about it. So it is interesting. And yes, frankly, I am very excited about getting back to work here in Florida and going to work and start making some money. Some real money. Some real money. That's going to take me a little time to get on my feet and get going, but I can assure you I'm going to be making some real money. So I'm not getting off the boat. I'm going to live on the boat. In fact, I've been researching marinas and stuff where I can live on the boat full time and work from the boat. So they had a cap on how much you could raise it in a year. Yeah, Patrick, and they do that, but every so often a particular community will vote to you know, oh, well, we need this or we need that, so let's put it up to a vote. And they put it up on the local ballot, and we're gonna, you know, one of the things that I've seen them do is, we're gonna raise money so we can improve the ambulance service. Well, of course, everybody wants good ambulance service, so we're gonna raise the cap rate, and you know, we're looking at you know, they're gonna throw out all kinds of numbers. Well, we're gonna look at a 3% variable to the cap rate, and we're going to it's only going to be so many factors or points, and they're going to use all this language aside from the fact they're going to say, hey, your property taxes are going to double because we want to talk about adding ambulance service. And oh, by the way, while we're doing the ambulance service, we're going to give the police a raise and the judges a raise and the county employee and you know, the mayor, everyone's getting an increase, and you know, so they'll throw a whole bunch of other nonsense in there to change those rates, and you know, they put up to a ballot. So I know firsthand. I was instrumental in getting a huge increase in Paradise Valley, Montana, so that we could add an ambulance service. But we actually used the money for an ambulance service there. But I saw all of the other abuses that could be and have happened using that kind of instance in getting that done. But yes, we raised some money and we bought a new ambulance, and we trained myself and a few others as EMTs and drivers. And our local fire department there in Paradise Valley, Montana, we started an ambulance service that did not exist prior to that. So I'm very proud of the work I did there. Carl, to share with you, okay. Buyers and sellers market in Florida. It's both. It is both. It is both. There's a buyers and sellers market here. It is seasonal. It varies from time to time. It changes from market to market. It changes from area to area. Fact is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People need some place to live. People want to sell a house. I mean, it's just that simple. So transactions happen. So this was in Texas. No state income tax. The property taxes were stupidly high. I was paying $800 a month in property tax on my last house. Yeah. Yep, I understand. But you know, you have to understand, Patrick, that some states don't necessarily have an income tax, but they do have a sales tax to make up their revenue. So don't think that just because they don't have an income tax that they just have high property taxes. High property taxes are not a function of the fact that they don't have an income tax. High property taxes are a function of the fact that they're charging you, probably overcharging you for the services being provided to your property. Schools, ambulance service, law enforcement, administration, highways, roads, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be called a troll again tonight. Well, hey Sharon Ann, how you doing? Seller market in Florida. Okay. Don't start politics. Room for a lot of mischief these days. Yep. Which then? Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by which then, but okay. Florida car registration is approximately $65 per year, depending on value. Good. Not offending. Just saying. Okay. Don't go there. Citizen, leader of a free world here. Okay, yeah. Here in Tennessee, sales tax is high. Property tax is low. Tourism dollars. Yep. All of those things have a basis and have a bearing. Some areas with, you know, like Atlantic City, bed tax. Atlantic City is pretty much funded on bed tax. You know, every time somebody goes and rents a motel room in Atlantic City, they pay a certain percentage of bed tax that's collected by the casinos or the hotels or whatever, and that's paid into local government, and that funds the government. Areas with high tourism visitation, you know, their revenue stream is bed tax. There's a community in Ohio that their revenue stream for the longest time was road fines. They didn't have much in the way of property tax income. They didn't have much of a retail facility, so they didn't have sales tax that was generating much money. So the police department went out and wrote a bunch of tickets to people. I mean, if you were 2 miles an hour over the speed limit, it was a $100 fine, you know. So there was a small town in Montana that was being funded by fining everybody. And, you know, they found out that a state highway crossed through their little county. And so they went out and were enforcing speeding out on the highway. So, in fact, they ended up catching one of the state attorneys in that fiasco. And there was a big blow up about it, and they ended up not being able to do that anymore, but it funded them for quite a while. So Frank's not here, so things are much more peaceful in here tonight. You know, Lumberjack, let's not go there. Frank does a great job. Frank does a great job here. I really don't appreciate that comment at all. I raised at Lake of the Ozarks, mid-Missouri, only 1 hour from my home. 2 weeks ago, we were at 14 knots steady gusty in mid-20s, crewing on a 23-foot squint sport. Oh, wow, small boat. You were doing 14 knots on a 23-foot boat? I don't know about that. Florida does value if you bring in car purchase out of state in the last 2 years, unless you have lived there for, okay. Another maybe stupid question. As I read, in Florida, you need a title for a boat, like for a car. Does that have any implications for your boat? No. No, I'll get a title issued. You just need a bill of sale to apply for a boat title. Yep, that's exactly right. I know where Lake of the Ozarks are. A very nice area. Yep, Lake of the Ozarks. I've rented a houseboat on the Lake of the Ozarks before. That's a nice area. So wind speed, yeah, maybe wind speed was doing that, but wind was 14 knots. Okay, dudes, don't worry about the title. Carl will figure the bureaucracy when he gets there. Yes, actually, Don, I will. Absolutely not a problem. Not a problem. You know, and there's another thing. The only time I've been stopped by anybody was when I ran aground up there on the Hudson River. That's when the Coast Guard came and checked me out, because I called them and I asked them to come help me when I ran aground on the Hudson River. Had to cut that anchor loose. Remember, I got an anchor fouled and couldn't retrieve it. And then when I was in Port Washington, I had a police boat come and visit me one day, and that ended up being a non-issue. But you know what, guys? I am still a vessel in transit, and I am almost in Florida now. So, unregistered. Oh, let all the trolls have fun with that. You one of the nastiest channels I've seen. Last night, Don called me a troll, and tonight, he called me a witch. How do you keep subscribers? Hey, Sharon Ann, I have a bunch of very good, loyal people that follow my channel, so as I tried to explain to you, you know, until you're proven otherwise, you're suspect. So, but we have a good group of people in our community here that all get along fine. Got pulled over a Corvette 45 and a 40. Really? Oh, yeah. Went over 65 on the 18-foot boat. 300 port end. Yeah, right. Oh, Monty Python. There you go, Don. I get it. Okay. Oh, man. Get the goose. Yeah. So anyhow, kids, we're having a ball here. We're almost to Florida. I'm really excited. Obviously, I'm excited about getting back to work and selling real estate. It's something I do very well, and there's no trolls in real estate. So I don't have to worry about that. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting back to work and starting a whole new life there. And, you know, I'm interested to see what happens with this date I'm going on. This could be really nice. So, so on your channel, everyone is guilty until proven innocent. Yeah, maybe, I guess. So I like to give people the benefit of the doubt until they prove otherwise. So you seem to be easily offended if you're being bothered by people saying stuff like that. So I don't know. Sharon Ann. You can hang out and watch and see how things evolve and move on, or not. You know, it's all good. So no, not Rhonda. No, Rhonda's not my date. He's good to say hi. There you go. Hey, Poppy D, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a while. I've been enjoying your comments, though, Poppy D. So thank you for that. I really do enjoy your comments and stuff, man. So I appreciate that. Guys, I got a mosquito bite right there, and it hurts like a son of a gun. Been getting ate up by mosquitoes, so... it's always in the company. No, the lady I am going on the date with is not on my channel. Nobody on my channel knows her, and that's just the way I'm going to keep it. So, let the trolls waste their accounts. Yeah. Well, thanks, Poppy D. I appreciate that. Signing up with Watson Realty and Jax. Yeah, I'm not working for anybody else. Where did I meet? Online. I've been chatting with her since I was up in the cabin in Alaska. She used to live in Pennsylvania, actually. So she was married then. She's single now. She's now down in Florida. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with her. So. Good call, Carl, on a date. Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. I've not been out on a date, guys, in, wow, Penny and I never really dated. We never really went out on a date. We were, you know, I was married and I was with Penny. It wasn't really a date. It was just the way it went. Johanna and I went out on dates. So that was 37, almost 40 years. It's been almost 40 years since I've been on a date. I assume they still work the way they used to, but it's been 40 years since I went out on a date. So really needs a mama. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we just met online. So, actually, she had found my YouTube channel when I was up in Alaska farming, and she had commented on something way back then, and we've chatted on other social media since then, and an email, and oh. No, I was not married at the time. She was married at the time. I was not married. And our conversations back then were not at all, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, amorous. It was more questions and wanting to know about farming back then. It had nothing to do with, and then sailing, and also about sailing back then. It had nothing to do with any romantic thing. So, but she's now single, and so why not? Yep, Dick, it is getting late. I'm going to end this here pretty soon. Last date 1970, been married 48 years. There you go. Congratulations on that, man. You may wobble a bit. Yeah, I probably will. Yeah, break out those fancy clothes. Yeah, right? Yeah, I don't know if I need a haircut. My hair's don't have much hair to cut, so... Yeah, Lumberjack, I'm not sharing anything with anybody. You guys will not know anything about her, so... I'm not going to tell anybody anything about her at all, so... How do you not take your wives, girlfriends on dates? Well, that's different. That's not a date. That's just taking them out for a nice evening. Oh, man. Take my wife, please. Yeah, really? Have fun on your date. Hope you have a good conversation. And Marie, that's exactly what I'm looking forward to. Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking forward to. So, bring back the ponytail. Yeah, right? I guess you watched some of my Alaska real estate videos back in the day when I had long hair and a big ponytail. So, I did not make Florida yet. I might make Florida tomorrow. I didn't go anywhere today. Today has been a day of rest and relaxation. No, not really. I took a shower. I did laundry, cleaned the boat up, did that kind of stuff. Forgot to get fuel today. I'm mad at myself for that. I forgot I was going to get fuel, and then it started raining. I never did that. So, got to do that tomorrow. So, and worse is so expensive, they're worth it. Yeah, there you go, Coyote. Absolutely. I really appreciate manscaping these days too. Ask the barber. Ask the barber. Yeah, I don't think the barber's gonna want to be thinking about manscaping. So, oh man, Pilot, I lost more than half my stuff. Way more. So, car, whereabouts are you tonight? Yeah, John Dolan, I'm not sharing that information. If you want to email me, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I am no longer putting that kind of information out onto the public anymore. I don't know if you were here earlier when I was discussing, I've had some threats against me. I've had troll idiots trying to invite me out so they can kick my butt, that kind of stupid, you know, elementary school drama kind of stuff. So I am not going to share my location just because I want to keep myself safe. So where am I? I'm in a good place. Exactly. I'm in a real good place. G-Hop ponytail in effect. Look good on you. Yeah. Yeah, I had a ponytail back then up in Alaska and a much bigger beard. Much bigger beard. I don't think I'm going to get the bigger beard back. It's too hot for down here in the tropics. I ain't getting warm, so... Property tax in the U.S. seem huge. I pay a few €100 tax for Summer's house on a lake with a large yard. Condominium city. Oh, well, that's pretty cool, Abe. How you doing, brother? Sorry to hear about that, my friend. Okay. Well, anyhow, guys, listen, we're way over. We're like 80 minutes. We're way over an hour here, and I still have some things to do before I get ready to go to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug for this. It's been a very pleasant live stream this evening, and I appreciate you guys being on here and talking with me today. I am jazzed. I'm really excited about getting to Florida and getting back to work. I am literally on the doorstep of crossing the end zone here, and so I'm really psyched about that. You know, regardless of all the effort and nonsense that, yeah, I'm on the Missouri River. Yes, this is all a blue screen. I'm actually on the Missouri River. You're right. There you go. No, I really, guys, I thought about doing a misinformation campaign. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie or misrepresent where I am. Not that I'm at least a bit worried about my credibility. I'm just not going to do it because I just don't feel comfortable doing that. But I am not going to share the information. The only way they know where I'm at is if I tell you. And if I don't tell you, they'll have no idea where I'm at. So that's what we're going to do for the time being. For a little bit anyway. So, on a secret CIA mission. Yes, yes. Yep. Oh, gosh. Anyhow, exactly, John. Later, everybody. Be good, be careful, take good care of each other. And remember, in the description down below, there's links to my PayPal and Patreon. And guys, by the way, I really could use some funds coming into the PayPal right now. We've got a lot of expenses coming up very quickly. Like I need to put money together, buy a vehicle and stuff. So I really wish some folks would donate if you're so inclined or so available to do that. It would be great. And so with that said, I will see you guys later. Night, everybody.